Good morning, my name is Coach Bender, and today we're going to be going over the overhand throw in disc golf. So the most common overhand throw in disc golf is what's called the tomahawk throw, and we're going to go into the second portion of the video now, which I will be discussing the grip of the tomahawk throw. Okay, so the tomahawk form is very similar to your standard backhand form in disc golf. You're going to take your middle finger and rest it on the edge of the disc golf, and your pointer finger is going to be laying right over top just for support. A main problem that a lot of people have with this form is that they tend to put both fingers on the flat surface of the disc, but with this, you're not going to have as much control over your distance and power on your throw. So you're going to have your middle finger on the edge and then your pointer finger resting over the top. It's going to fall into the web of your fingers, and then your thumb is going to be opposite for support. These bottom two fingers you don't want just laying down here, because on your form it's going to be really shaky. So you want to kind of pin them right here so that you have more control when you have a full throwing motion. And that's how you do the tomahawk grip for disc golf. So now we're going to go over your leg stance for the tomahawk throw. You're going to want to be shoulder width apart, and this is just like your common athletic stance. However, you want to have your foot pointed towards the target, opened up this way that you have full hip motion and mobility. If your feet are like this, you're not going to be able to have full motion on your throw. So you want your legs pointed up here, and then moving on to the upper half of your body, you're going to have your right arm, your throwing arm, in an L shape, and then your left arm following the same. You're going to have your grip, and the whole point of the throw is to, when you're going in motion, is to kind of spread and have as much distance from the disc in your head, and that's how you're going to have more power on your throw. It's going to be right a couple inches behind your ear, and then the reason your arms are in this shape is because whichever direction that your left arm is pointing at is where the disc is going to go. So if you have a target that's you got to go through some trees, you're going to aim your body this way. If you have a lower target, you're going to aim your body this way. And so this is going to be your direction for everything. So I'm going to show a couple of demonstration ones on the basket. So we're here, shoulder width stance, legs open. We got our elbows up, aimed at the target, step through it. Upon the release of your throwing motion, when you're coming through, you aren't trying to, the form of the tomahawk itself is going to naturally go counterclockwise. So you don't want to try and pronate or supinate your throwing motion. You want to try to have it as straight as possible, and you don't want to force the rotation, or else you're not going to have the same trajectory on your throw. So I'll do one more example for you guys. And
today we're going over the putt. There's multiple situations you can use a putt in. Ideally, you want to use it between 0 and 30 feet. Your accuracy is probably be the highest between 0 and 20. 30 to 50 is another time you can do it if you're trying to hit a long shot. And if you're like a pro, people who play for a longer time can go between 0 and 60. And now we're going to go into how to do it.
All right, so we'll be going over the grip and the proper setup for putting. If you want to come in close, grip would be the disc right here in your palm. This is called the fan grip. You would have 3 fingers on the back, index finger on the lip, thumb up top. Now for the stance, you would want to be either squared to the basket or staggered stance. Staggered stance is my preferred stance, and with the staggered stance you can produce more power with your back leg. For staggered stance, you would put your preferred foot forward. And then getting into the accuracy, I like to imagine the board from my waist to the third lane to the top of the basket, and that's what I'm aiming at every single time. So there's 2 ways to putt. There's a push putt and a spin putt. Push putt is more of a pushing motion. It has no spin to it. And then there's a spin putt. Spin putt is the same setup, but you just add a little bit of backspin. I preferably use a spin putt. It gives me more accuracy to the disc, towards the basket. And that would be the basics of putting.